Hey, what is up, guys? Alvin Pound here to give you guys the first look slash review of Orange, one of the seasonal anime in the summer 2016 season that I found. I actually read the manga for it a while back, so a lot of you guys might not be into this genre. This is more of a slice of life shojo kind of series. So if you're not into it, then get the fuck out. But without further ado, let's get into the review. Um, the weird thing about this series that I would say starting off is that we kind of already know how it's going to end up. Um, Meaning they already show us clips of the future, seemingly after the series has taken place, of the main characters when they're adults. Um, and the plot is centered around the main character from herself in the future. Pretty much sends a letter back to her past self, giving her sort of a cheat sheet, instructions on how to live her life without regrets. Basically outlining a lot of the key moments in her life and how she can change them for the better. So, being honest, not too much actually happened this episode. We basically just got the premise for the series set up, and we know the format, sort of how things are going to work. I'm guessing that each episode there are going to be a few things in the note that are new and more interesting, and they're going to go forward like that. Now, the main twist of the episode I'm actually going to talk about first, and that's the fact that this series is probably going to be revolved around how they're going to save Kakeru's life, because the future Naho in this letter says that something really bad happens to Kakeru and he's no longer with them. And in the future, we see her with Suwa instead of Kakeru, which doesn't really make sense because during the episode, her love interest the whole time was Kakeru. So, very, very interesting how that works out. So, not too much. I don't really think I read the manga, a little bit of the manga for the series, so I already know how the first few chapters, probably episodes 1, 2, and 3 go. But as far as it went, not too much actually went down in the plot of this series. This series, I can already tell, is going to be, I guess, a bit slower on the pacing side, which is going to make it seem quite slow actually, because of the fact that the plot was already slow to begin with. But very, very, very nice, crisp animation. I liked the opening. The ending was okay, and the characters are all right. I actually didn't enjoy this episode as much as I quite thought I would, mainly because of the fact that a lot of these jokes in Slice of Life series I noticed are lost in translation. A lot of the time, either it's a really shitty translation or the joke's lost in translation. So they will be going on like that whole Huntsman thing, I believe it was. They were going on about that for like a minute or two, and it was supposed to be like, I guess, a really funny part. But I was just sitting there like, what the fuck are you guys saying? Like, fuck. So yeah, it's kind of interesting how that works out. I'm going to continue watching this series. I'm not sure if it's going to turn out to be what I expect it to be, but so far I did enjoy the first episode. It was pretty interesting, and I actually want to know where the plot's ending up. It could be a series where it has a nice plot and some really good twists in it. I can definitely see that happening, but at the same time, I can see it being the series where we literally already know the ending, and no matter what they do, they can't change the future. I mean, I guess best case scenario, they change the future, but I guess the joy will be in finding out exactly how they managed to do that. Um, so yeah, I give this episode about I guess a 6.57, which I consider pretty decent. Um, my anime list had actually gotten an 8, which I was so shocked. But I guess not. I wasn't really shocked because as far as my anime list goes, I realized like the rating a lot of the time. I mean, the ratings are pretty accurate, but they a lot of the time have to do with just production quality, how good production quality was for the series, and if it has good production quality, it'll get a high rating. If it has a good production quality and a good plot, it'll get a super high rating. If it has neither, it'll just be shitty. So that's it for this review. Hope you guys stick around for more. If you guys want to see me review any of the other anime from the season, let me know. Planning on reviewing at least Danganronpa, if not anything else. So stay tuned for that. Alright, peace.